From a high-spirited teenager's rise to stardom to a story slowly derailed by capital interference, the downfall of Battle Through the Heavens is more than just a disappointing arc in Donghua history. It's a reflection of what's happening across the entire Chinese animation industry. Once hailed as a legendary IP with ratings as high as 9.7, it has since fallen dramatically to a mere 5.8. For a series that once dominated charts, trended episode after episode, and was beloved by millions, this fall feels like a betrayal. Not just of the story, but of the fans who supported it through thick and thin. So, when exactly did things start to change? When did the vibrant soul of this story begin to fade? Let's go back to where it all began. In 2009, a young man named Tian Kan Tudu, just 19 years old, wrote a novel that would change his life and define a generation of readers. That novel was Battle Through the Heavens. At just 19, he became the youngest platinum-tier writer in the history of Chinese web literature. His rise was meteoric, and his name was spoken alongside greats like Tangjia Sunshao, the creator of Dulo Dalu. For many fans, the story of Xiaoyan was more than just fiction. It was an inspiration. Watching a boy rise from humiliation to greatness resonated with everyone who ever felt underestimated or defeated. Xiaoyan's fire wasn't just douqi, it was determination, resilience, and hope. Naturally, with such a beloved novel, the demand for an animated adaptation was sky high. Eventually, the rights were secured by Fook, and fans were hopeful. But when the first season aired, what they saw was a rushed production full of crude modeling, unconvincing effects, and characters that felt hollow. The animation style lacked finesse, and beloved characters were turned into awkward, almost unrecognizable versions of themselves. The initial reception was brutal. Fans who had waited for years were stunned. What was supposed to be a dream come true turned into a painful disappointment. Despite the rocky start, this failure inadvertently opened the door for another studio, Huanwei Digital, to take over. And that's when things began to turn around. Huanwei introduced a new approach, beginning with a special episode that reintroduced Xiaoyan as a relatable, passionate, and impulsive young man. This version of him reminded fans of the protagonist they had grown to love in the novel. He was flawed, yes, but he was also courageous and full of youthful energy. His encounter with Yun Yun, especially the moment he risked everything to save her, reignited fan excitement. Xiaoyan's determination and the emotional tension between him and Yun Yun showed viewers that this story still had soul. Yun Yun herself gained a massive following after that episode. She wasn't just a side character anymore. She became a deeply respected figure among fans, admired for her inner strength and quiet vulnerability. But years later, when the same Yun Yun was reduced to a mere stranger saying, "We just met," all of that emotional investment was thrown out the window. That careless rewrite left a bitter taste in fans' mouths. But before that misstep, the series experienced a golden era. With the release of the Song of Sand arc, Battle Through the Heavens truly exploded in popularity. Characters like Haibodong captured the imagination of viewers. One of the most iconic scenes featured 5 massive ice dragons, which fans jokingly said represented the limits of the animation team, not the character. It was a turning point. The production quality had finally caught up with the story's ambition. And then there was Medusa. Her presence transformed the series, not just as a romantic interest, but as a fierce, commanding figure whose charisma dominated the screen. Her design, personality, and storyline made her a superstar. Merchandise of Medusa sold out in seconds, and she became one of the most bankable characters in Chinese animation. By the time seasons 3 and 4 aired, Battle Through the Heavens was virtually untouchable. Even with new Donghua series entering the scene, none could shake its dominance. The highlight of it all? The much-anticipated 3-year agreement? This was Xiaoyan's moment of truth. The fight with Nalan Yanran wasn't just about revenge, it was about transformation. Xiaoyan stood as a man who had endured ridicule, loss, and setbacks, yet had trained relentlessly for this moment. His victory wasn't just physical, it was symbolic. He wasn't just defeating Nalan Yanran, he was overcoming the weaker version of himself. The emotional impact of that arc was undeniable. The 3-year agreement episodes trended continuously. Every release brought new talking points. Xiaoyan's rising strength, Yunshan's oppressive power, Medusa's timely rescue, Yao Lao's shocking return, and Yun Yun's tearful goodbye. The series was firing on all cylinders. It had heart, it had soul, it had momentum. It was during this time that Battle Through the Heavens and Dulo Dalu were dubbed the Double Fights, the two powerhouses that led the golden age of Chinese animation. When Dulo Dalu finished, many believed Battle Through the Heavens would inherit the crown. But then, it all started to unravel, and not because of competition. The real threat came from within. Despite some inconsistencies in modeling and animation, fans remained loyal. But instead of refining what worked, the production team began to make puzzling decisions that went against everything the series had built. Medusa, the soul of the show, was sidelined. Her storyline was butchered. Her child with Xiaoyan, a significant plot point in the source material, was inexplicably turned into a meaningless energy body. The emotional core that fans once resonated with was dismissed as irrelevant. It was like ripping out the heart of the story. The production team didn't stop there. They started using recycled models, repetitive battle animations, and shallow dialogue. Xiaoyan's growth, once portrayed through rich experiences and layered storytelling, now came across as mechanical and hollow. Even side characters were stripped of their complexity, but the final straw for many came with Yun Yun. Once positioned as Xiaoyan's first significant emotional connection, she was reduced to a casual acquaintance with the infamous line, "We just met." That single moment symbolized everything that had gone wrong. Years of emotional buildup, gone. Relationships that had defined the story, erased. From a Donghua that once pulsed with energy, emotion, and ambition, Battle Through the Heavens became industrialized content, a shell of what it once was. Fans who had stood by the series for over a decade began to leave. Online communities collapsed. Discussion groups turned into battlegrounds between loyalists and critics. The rating continued to slide. And what's most painful is that the fall didn't come from lack of talent or a bad story. It came from mismanagement, rushed decisions, and the constant push to commercialize rather than care. The series that once inspired millions became a cautionary tale in how not to handle a beloved IP. So here we are, from a proud beginning with a 19-year-old genius and a fiery protagonist who captivated hearts, to a broken legacy clouded by disappointment and frustration. What happened to Battle Through the Heavens is not just sad, it's frustrating, because we all know what it could have been. What do you think? Did you notice the turning point? Were you one of the fans who left, or are you still holding on, hoping for redemption? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, everyone. Battle Through the Heavens started as a symbol of hope for Chinese animation, bold, emotional, and full of promise. But its journey from brilliance to backlash reminds us that even the strongest stories can be lost when creators stop listening to their audience. If you've been following this series from the start, I want to hear from you. What moment made you fall in love with the show? And when did you feel that it started losing its spark? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk about it. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a deep dive into your favorite Donghua stories. I've got more breakdowns and behind-the-scenes insights coming soon. Until next time, stay curious, stay passionate, and keep fighting through your own heavens.